Hey guys, so in today's video I'm drawing Chucky as a Hawkeye. Not Rugrats Chucky, the doll Chucky. I just figured it's fitting for Halloween. And shout out to Akoni Ingalls on Twitter, if I'm saying that right, who suggested Chucky. I just thought it was so good, I gotta do it. The problem is, I haven't seen any of the Chucky movies, so I need to do that. So, step one, research. Okay, I just Googled the list of movies, and there are 8 of them. 8! Are you kidding me? I thought there would be like 4.
My apologies, I don't understand. But I found
Me neither. Me neither,
Do
Google.
you want to know where was 8 on the Lamb filmed?
No. I wanted to get to Bride of Chucky, but that's the 4th. Because there's Child's Play 1, 2, and 3. You know, I'm just gonna get started. We'll see how far I can get. Ah! Hi.
I got the strangler!
So, I ended up watching Child's Play 1, 2, 3, and Bride of Chucky. So now I need to create my Hot Chucky drawing. Oh god, I don't even like saying it. Hot Chucky. So I have some reference here. We have the original Good Guy doll, because I might incorporate elements of the box into this. I'm not sure. There are some details here, like what the overalls look like, the shoes, this is the pattern on the overalls, and then pictures of Chucky, lots with his face. I like the scarred up Chucky face. I think that's the scariest one. His face doesn't look like this until Bride of Chucky, but to me it's the spookiest. I feel like we just have to go with this look. Then there's also this. Yeah, don't look at it. I just needed reference for that part of the pose because I know what I'm going to do for the rest of the pose, but I had to figure out the arm situation. I think I like this hand better, but I took the robe off so I could see my arm better. Although in this one the knife's pointing down, like the sharp edge is down. I like it with sharp edge up. I was looking at various sitting poses because I like the idea of his shoes being visible. That's always the struggle with these videos. Is it full body so we can see all the details, or is it cut off? What am I doing? I want shoulder down, but I want head tilting back. I have some sitting reference poses up, but it's not exactly what I want, and so I'm like, ugh. Can I morph this to be what I want without it looking dumb? See, I want the shoe planted in the foreground right here, so we can show off his shoe design. You can see the other shoe here. In my pose, this shoulder is the higher one, which makes sense because that's the arm I'm lifting. I might need to move the whole arm up then. Okay, there. Elbow. Arm. I'm kind of regretting my choice. I just keep fiddling with this. Some days it just works, other days it just does not. Foreshortening is not my forte. The arm is one of the things I'm using reference for right now, but it looks dumb when I draw it. I'm almost wondering if maybe the arm could come down and then it's grabbing onto the leg. Okay, I think I like that arm position. What am I doing? I started sketching in his cuff here for his pants, but then I'm thinking, okay, hold on, hold up. What is this outfit gonna look like? We're not just gonna draw it exactly as it is here, okay? Are they gonna be shorts for overalls, kind of like we did with Waluigi? It'd be nice to do it a little differently. The overalls could come down really low on this side and he has a crop top, but I don't think you'd really see that with this pose. He could have coveralls with no shirt, but there has to be some kind of striping on his arm, so there could be sleeves that cut off at the elbow, just before, just after. Maybe give him some rips, like a ripped jean look. Yeah, I feel like with this pose it'd be weird to give him shorts, just the way the leg comes up. And I just love the big oversized cuff on the pants. And they could be completely undone, and you can see the back end of it and see the straps back here. Yeah, Kiki. So many options. It's weird thinking of sexy outfits because Chucky, although he is an adult, he's in the body of a doll, which looks like a toddler. So it's... yikes. If you don't know, he is the soul of a serial killer who gets trapped in this doll. I mean, he puts himself into Chucky, and then it's his goal to try to get out of that body and into a different human body. We can have one strap hanging over the arm, but it's not undone, it's just hanging. Is it hanging open? So we have a nip exposed. Would this even swivel right here? It'd be more like it would come up and then down. I just really want the red button, at least on one side. So if this comes forward and hangs down, then we don't see it. We'll go into time lapse, I'll work on it, we'll come back. I really struggled with the design here. I couldn't decide what I wanted. Did I want little booty shorts? How's the sleeve gonna work? Because I drew it with just the sleeve, no rest of the shirt, just a chunk of fabric, a tube of fabric over his arm, but it just looked too weird. And the overalls, I thought they just have to be down because we have to make this pinup style somehow, you know. He can't, I mean, he could be fully clothed, but you know, with this series, I like to have maybe a nip showing. Not always, but most of the time, yes. So, front of the overalls, down, but then the pant leg will be a full pant leg. That way we can also get in more of the pattern on the overalls to help it feel more Chucky. I also did not like having the cuff of the sleeve visible on his knife hand, so I found a solution for the shirt. He's kind of wearing half a shirt, like some of it got ripped, which makes sense because his outfit is all ripped up by the time you get to Bride of Chucky. In the past, he would just get a whole new outfit, but then in this movie, he just had his existing outfit stitched back together. So his shirt is only on his right side. There's the full sleeve up to the chest, and this way we also see some of the red collar at the top, which I like. But then it cuts down his chest and has a ripped edge to it, and then there's no sleeve on the other arm at all. But I'm gonna still bring this into Photoshop because his head is too big and his shoulders, I feel like I want them to be a bit more broad. I'm just gonna scan it, play around with it till I like it and print it off. So here's the original sketch, and then here it is fixed. The head is smaller, shoulders broader. The arm is just thicker in general. I thickened this leg a little bit. Now I'm gonna go in with my graphite pencil just to darken some areas because the lines are kind of vague here. Like, is this where the line is? Is this where the line is? It can be hard to tell. So I'm just gonna go in and darken areas. His face also didn't have a whole lot of detail yet, so I can go in with a cleaner line and tidy it up before I do the line art. So I decided to ink this with my Copic multiliners. I kind of prefer outlining with pencil in general, but sometimes I just want those crisp lines, and I think that's what I want this time. So I have the 0.1 Copic multiliner. I'm just gonna go in and trace it again. I like when I can get away without having to go over the line so many times, because I have my rough sketch, which I really had to work, fix it digitally, then tightened up the lines in pencil. Now I'm tracing it again. It can be a lot sometimes. That's why sometimes it's nice to just get the sketch right from the get-go, which rarely happens for me, and then do the line art right on top. It saves a lot of time, but you know, we're going for the clean look this time. This line doesn't hit the right spot at all though. That should hit higher. Gotta get that nip in there. Ah, yeah. So let's talk about the Chucky movies for a second. What did I think of them? Well, I really enjoyed them. I didn't want to stop watching them. And ideally, I would have watched all of them before attempting this video, but I just didn't start them early enough. I definitely think the very first one and Bride of Chucky were my faves. The first one definitely has more of that spooky factor to it. Bride of Chucky is just like a comedy pretty much. But that's kind of what was also great about it. Just over-the-top ridiculousness. So I'm excited to see more of these Chucky movies. Also, just Chucky being a doll. He was a practical puppet in the movies, and that just makes it more comedic. Even when it's supposed to be serious or spooky, I'm just laughing because it's this freaking puppet flailing across the screen. Or he's trying to turn a knob or grab something and his hand just looks hilarious. Oh shoot, I colored in his eyes black. Idiot. His light blue eyes are a very distinctive feature. Ugh, I'll fix it. What I'll do is I'll make this wider so there's room for an iris. He just has big pupils. I might touch it up with a white gel pen, we'll see. But yeah, after seeing the original Chucky, I thought, what? They're already remaking it. It's not that old and it's pretty good. But then I saw a trailer for the new one, like the remake of Child's Play, and it's not the same at all. So that's good. It's a different story. All right, you guys, this video is taking so long. There was my original sketch, then I scanned it, tweaked it in Photoshop, then carefully traced over it in pencil. Then I traced that to ink it onto my marker paper, but then I still didn't like it, so I went back into Photoshop. I scanned it again, went in Photoshop, and I changed some things. So mainly the shape of his head, because it was not matching what I had in the light orange sketch. I just kind of ruined it when I went in with the pencil. So you can see his head is not as long, like I squished it down. Just went boop. And then his facial features are a little scrunched together, so I separated them out a little bit. His nose and eyes are a little bit bigger and just not so squished together, and even the position of the mouth is slightly tweaked. I also had to drop his shoulder a bit because when I did the pencil lines, I didn't quite match it, or maybe when I inked it at some stage, I lost the drop his shoulder had, so it's just too square right here. I think you want some squareness because of the muscles there, but you don't want it too square because then it just looks even more stiff. So I finally have my final line art now. Oh my god. I can finally start coloring. All right. I used the first version of the line art to plan out some colors. So I have a bunch of Copics picked out. I'll still have to grab other ones for deeper shadows and stuff like that, but I have the basic colors figured out. And I think I'm gonna have the lighting coming from below, and it's gonna be yellowish, just to give it that horror vibe, make it a little creepier. So I guess I can begin. Real-time talking videos like this work way better when the video is not insanely long, like if it's some more simple art or something. If I had known I would spend this much time on it, I would not have made it a real-time video. I probably won't do this for the whole thing because we're gonna run out of time here and we don't want this video to be too long. So I'll probably switch to speed paint format. His head's still a bit big for his body, but you know, that's okay. I didn't add his scars yet. You can see just the staples, but not the scar because I was paranoid I would just end up smudging it because it's gonna be in color, not black and white. Although, had I known I was going to scan the art and fix it, I probably could have gone ahead with the red in advance, but we'll just wait. This is a very dry marker. Yeah, I do not have a refill for this one. Is it on my list? I don't think so. Y00. I really need to do another refill order because my list just keeps growing. I have Y11 as kind of a backup, but it's darker. Oh god, I'm nervous I'm gonna screw up the face. I should just do it first. I gotta do it first because that way if I screw it up I can redo it. Just print it off again. I'll leave a skinny strip for the eyelid. And then this cheekbone area has to be colored in. It's interesting because it's the opposite of what I would normally do. Normally that would be highlighted in that area, but this time it's gonna be the shadows. The forehead would also be in shadow. I'm gonna have to work hard to blend this out. I don't think I grabbed a good blending color yet. Yeah, that E11 is just a little too light. I have some E13 here. I'm darkening the yellow a bit actually, because in my test coloring I did use a bright yellow, but I thought it was a bit much, but then seeing it from afar on screen on OBS is showing me I like the brightness. Now the lighting's coming from below, but also a little bit from the right, I'm gonna say. So we want more shadow on this side of the face too. It's very weird trying to figure this out, especially without any light reference. I'm just trying to use common sense. Also, I have a song stuck in my head. It's Spankin' Plankton by Bikini Bottom Feeders. That's all I can think of, and I'm trying so hard to not sing it out loud. I highly recommend Bikini Bottom Feeders, though. They have hilarious SpongeBob songs. Adult songs, not for kids. Anywho, I'm gonna kick it into time-lapse mode with voiceover still, but yeah, we're gonna stop the real-time stuff now. So as soon as I started moving on to his hair, which is orange, I immediately started thinking of Archie Andrews. That's all I can see now. I'm like, is this Chucky or is this Archie? I don't know. The idea with the side of his hair is that it's buzzed down except for those 3 strips of hair that are stapled on. He has more baldness on the actual doll, but I didn't want to include that in this, so I imagined it being buzzed down underneath. And then on his chest here, it was going really well, and then I put too dark of a yellow in one spot, and so his shoulder area got insanely yellow by mistake. But that's okay because when I added the shadow for the knife, it covered it a little bit. I also wasn't sure what to do with the shadow for the knife because the lighting is mostly coming from down below, but I still feel like there would be some kind of shadow on his body. I don't know, so I put one in anyways. The stripes were definitely a challenge on the sleeve here because there were different colors, yes, but also each one had to have shading on it, but not bleed into the one next to it. So that was probably the most tedious part of this, was shading in the stripes. It was not that pleasant. One thing I was struggling with this drawing is that it has to live up to the other hot guy drawings. And I think that's why I fiddled with it so much before, because the last one I did was Bowser, and that's my favorite so far, I think. It's kind of tied with Squidward. I think they both turned out so wonderfully. Squidward's just has such great colors, and I like the way I shaded everything, but Bowser's has like that body type that I like, and I really like how the face turned out. Like everything about the Bowser drawing just worked out. It was just great, and so I'm like, oh my god, this has to live up to that, but this one definitely doesn't. I did a different body type though. This is kind of like a younger guy. I decided to go that route with Chucky. Bowser is more like middle-aged man. This is more younger man, like early 20s. This one doesn't get me all hot and bothered like the Bowser one, but it's still okay. I don't think it lives up to Bowser and Squidward, but I still like it. I like the coloring and everything too. I opted to go with minimal body hair for this one, so there's not even any chest hair. All I added was arm hair. In the sketch, I tried adding some stubble, but I didn't like how it competed with all his staples and scars and stuff. It was just feeling too busy, so I thought, okay, minimal body hair, just the arms. Now his leg here, it looked okay as a sketch, even as a line art. I look at the line art and I'm like, okay, that pose doesn't look too bad. But then when I colored it in, I don't know if it's the way I colored it or if sometimes coloring just brings out the shapes a lot better and you realize, oh, that's wrong. That's not how it's supposed to look. So yeah, either I shaded it wrong or it just brought out the flaws it already had. But the leg is kind of weird, the one that's propped up, because it kind of just stuck on there. But again, I was using reference for a leg like that, and the line came all the way down to the shoe like that. That's how it was. But it just, I don't know, it looks like a Barbie leg just stuck on him or something. One part I am really proud of though is the shoe, the one that's more in the foreground. That's probably the best shoe I've ever drawn. I really like it, especially once you add all the little Chucky details, because it has that cuff above it. That's part of the pants, not the shoe. But I just think that looks really cute. Or maybe it's a sock. No, I'm assuming it's a cuff of the pants. I don't know. But I just like the construction of the shoe, and I like how the laces have writing on them. It just completed it, and I think I just drew it well. I'm excited about that shoe. I would say that's my favorite part of the whole thing is the shoe, but also just the coloring and lighting, because it's very interesting lighting on this drawing. It's a little more ambitious than what I typically go for, so that was fun. For the pattern on his overalls, I was gonna use gouache to do the pattern because there's a bunch of little details. It would have been a nightmare to try to shade the blue around that pattern if I had done it in Copic. and I was gonna use gouache, and I busted out the gouache. Then I thought, wait, I just got some Posca pens. I was gonna save these for another video, like do like a first impressions, but I had to bust out my fine tip ones and use them for this because it was just perfect. Like, just grab it and go. It was so handy for adding the pattern on top of the Copic. It's life-changing. It's amazing. I have some other paint pens, but they're absolute garbage. These are way different, and they're more fine tip. So yeah, you'll see a Posca video sometime in the future. I don't know when. I always say to myself, like, oh, this is gonna be one of my next videos, but then I think of other ideas and the video just keeps getting pushed back forever and ever and ever. So, you know, who knows when you'll get a Posca video. For the background, I decided to go dark and creepy. I kept the lines very scratchy using the chisel nib because it just gave a creepy feel. Plus, he's holding a knife because that's Chucky's signature weapon, and it just looks scratchy, like stabbies or cutting with a knife. Like, I don't know, I'm just trying to fit that creepy vibe, but also the knife vibe. I added a little shine on the knife with a white gel pen and used the white gel pen to do scratchy marks in the background. Again, it kind of fits with the whole knife theme. Did some finishing touches to his one leg, and then there it is. There's Archie Andrews as Chucky. I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know who you want to see as the next hot guy. Thank you. I'll see you in my next video.